The surprising truth about Bitcoin and how the world really works. Hi there, crypto fans. Dick Allgire here. Another beautiful day in the beautiful Hawaiian Islands. And I want to talk a little bit about what's been happening with Bitcoin, changing attitudes toward Bitcoin, how this ties in with the entire transformation of the financial system, and how we at Future Forecasting Group have been right about this for the last 7 years. 7 years ago, I began a channel and we began a company that gives reports on the transition of the financial system. And at that time, we were saying a number of things. That Bitcoin would be used as an asset class that would be a store of wealth, a store of value. We said that we were in a transition to a new financial system where all assets would be conducted, all transactions would be conducted on blockchain using distributed ledger technology with access to that by a digital identity. So those are the things we've been saying. Now let's go back. At the time we started this, Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, which is the largest investment firm in the world, he's one of the most powerful men in the world, one of the most powerful men in the financial system. And we look at a headline where Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink say they unite on the need to crush Bitcoin. In 2017, Larry Fink called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. He was very dismissive. There was no way he was calling this an asset class. He was calling it something that was only used by criminals for bad purposes. So now we cut to today when the Bitcoin ETF has finally been approved and you can invest in Bitcoin using companies that are run by Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink. So why did they change their tune? In 2017, I was honored and privileged and lucky enough to meet someone who had knowledge of how the world is administered, someone who would be in a position to give information to people like Larry Fink and Jamie Dimon. And these are people that know where the world is going, and they guide the world up to like 50 years in advance. So Jamie Dimon is not someone who is reactive, who thinks Bitcoin is only for money laundering and needs to be crushed a few short years ago, and then suddenly endorsing it as an asset class. Why did he change his tune? First of all, let's go to the latest Larry Fink soundbite, where he calls Bitcoin a valid asset class, a protection of wealth, and he says he wants to tokenize the entire financial system using your digital identity as access. Here's the clip.
I do believe it is an alternative source for wealth holding. I don't believe it's ever going to be a currency. I believe it's an asset class.
You don't believe it ever becomes a currency?
No, I think we're going to create digital currencies. We're going to use the technology for it. We're going to use the blockchain.
In terms of price?
I believe, I believe it goes up if the world is more frightened, if people have fearful of geopolitical risk, they're fearful of their own risk. It's no different than what gold represented over thousands of years. It is a asset class that protects you.
Right.
Let me be clear. I think ETFs are step one in the technological revolution in the financial markets. Step two is going to be the tokenization of every financial asset. And to me, this is where we believe it's going. So we're looking at Bitcoin, we're looking at ETFs in the same manner. These are technological changes that can allow us to move forward. As I said, these are just stepping stones towards tokenization. And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today. If you want to talk about, think about this. If you had a tokenized security and you have a tokenized identity, you, Andrew, the moment you buy or sell an instrument, it is known. It's on a general ledger that is all created together.
So Larry Fink just didn't suddenly get new information. He didn't suddenly just change his mind or have a moment of enlightenment. Larry Fink knew this all along. Larry Fink is at the level of people who plan the financial system 50 to 100 years in advance. Larry Fink's job is to facilitate an orderly transition to the new financial system. So in order to keep that transition moving at the pace they wanted to move it, Larry Fink in 2017 had to say, we're going to crush Bitcoin. We need to crush Bitcoin. It's only used for money laundering. Now, as that transition is fully underway, it's safe for him to come out and endorse Bitcoin as an asset class. So Bitcoin is not going anywhere. It's going where Larry Fink and the administrators of the world want it to go, and that is for it to be an asset class. The value is going to be greatly increased in coming years. Things we told you about, digital identity coming, everything being tokenized, and it's not just the financial system that's going to be tokenized. You're going to be part of the Internet of Things where everything, including you, including your identity, your intellectual property, it's all going to be tokenized on a blockchain. Some people might not like that, but that's where we're headed. Now, if this is of interest to you, and this should be of interest because it's going to affect every aspect of your life, we have been correct in the information we've been giving out at futureforecastinggroup.com. Futureforecastinggroup.com. We talk about this in depth in a private setting where we're allowed to say much more than we can say in public. Futureforecastinggroup.com.